Hello everybody and welcome back. It's me, your old pal Orpheus, here with another edition of Blade and Sorcery. Yes, that's right. Hey, look, you wanted a face reveal. Here you go. So I guess this is what I look like, actually, like when I'm walking around doing this. You know, I got my crazy weapons and stuff, and I got my daggers and stuff, and so apparently we have this cool Captain Morgan step here. Hold on, man. Aha! I am Captain Morgan. No, okay, so that's so you can change clothes and stuff. So you're like, I can, nope. I can take my pants off. Okay, and then I can put it back. Apparently my mouth doesn't move or anything like that, but you'll have to deal with that. Anyway, we're doing a pretty good episode today. This is an interesting one. You people wanted to get a little bit of an episode about some foot trauma and some other things that I've had to do over the years to take care of myself. So stay tuned. We're going to cut right to the episode because it's a little awkward for me to, you know, like go outside and do stuff. Let me put the Captain Morgan step away. Let me put the Captain... There we go. Anyway, we're going to head outside. It's not going to take as long for you guys because I'm going to cut right to it in 3, 2, 1. And hey, we're back. Hey, I used my little Star Trek teleporter and here I am right in the arena. Technology's amazing here in medieval times. Hey birds, what's going on? Hey, that's right, it's me, your old pal Orpheus. Hope you're doing great. Wherever you are today, whether it's day, whether it's night, whether you're on the back of a cruise ship, sitting on the poop deck, just kind of staring out at the stars with your tablets and watching your old pal Orpheus. You're welcome here and welcome aboard. And that's particularly useful if you're on the cruise ship. Anyway, today we are doing the survival mode, and we'll be beating up several rounds of people as they come out. And you know what? I'm going to start with the axe here today. Nice little way to start off things. Yep. So I always get this fantasy while I'm in here of like being Russell Crowe in Gladiator. You know, like the problem is that there's no helmet like that, you know, with the little nose thing that goes right here. And those of you like looking at this right now, this must look weird. For me, I'm crossing my eyes. But yeah, I always wanted to like get that speech down, you know, like I can't even think of it right now. That one that he does in the Coliseum. Anyway, first traditional slow motion kill of the day. Haha, you missed. I'm gonna grab that sword and hit you in the face with that. You like that, lady? Take that out of your bloody hand. Ha! Let's get rid of the axe. Why not? We'll dual wield here. Hi. Anyway. Yeah, so like I said in the intro, some of you guys were requesting a specific kind of episode. Oh, that hurt. And about a topic that is a little bit of body horror kind of thing. Don't worry, it's not going to be anything completely nasty. I'm not going to go into like horrible details about things. But yeah, there's a couple of instances here that I want to talk about. So sit back, strap in. This one's going to be interesting. So, got you in the kidney. How's that liver feeling, Bob? Not so good. So, this first one, we will start with when I was a little young. There was a place that we were staying at. It was on a lake, and there was a nice big beach. And over time, that beach eroded a little bit. Can I get you? I want to see if I can chop your head off, like, with scissors here. Hold on. Oh, disarm. Wait a minute. Wait. The lab experiment cannot be completed due to death of the subject. Anyway. So I was on this beach, and, like, so erosion kind of made it so the water went that way, and the beach kind of, you know, spread out, right? And she's just, what's going on here? Well, let's take care of it the easy way. Oh, man. Oh. That's not quite a boom headshot, is it? Boom throat shot. Anyway, so what I'm getting at with the beach here is there had used to be a wall. It was like a wooden wall that was built up against a hill to kind of keep the sand from coming down, right? And eroding the actual like yard in front of the house. Okay. So there was this wooden wall. We'll use this as an analog for it, right? So it was straight, right? So it kind of went on a part of a beach, and it curved off to one side. And I have this thing in my life. I love to walk on beaches. I'll have another story coming up about being down in Florida. Some of the weird stuff I did down there. Oh boy. Including pretending I was going to a samurai exhibition competition or something. Anyway, I'll tell you about that in another one. So I have this thing where I like to walk on beaches. And let's see. Can I get a nice throwing weapon thing going on here? Oh. Followed up. Are you not entertained? Anyway, so I love to walk on beaches. It's really nice. It's like, you know, you get the whole like relaxing thing from the water lapping at the shore, and you get to look out at the sky and everything, and there's that gave me heartburn. Anyway, you get to look out at all the people that are like having fun on their boats and stuff, and you know, occasionally there'll be a nice looking person laying out on the beach that you can kind of, you know, like creepily stare at on the way by through your sunglasses. And so I'm walking along, and every day I would do this. I would wake up and I would go, and I'd be a little tired, right? But it was my way that I woke up in the morning. They used to call that the morning constitutional, right? Hey, that's enough, buddy. I don't use a bow very often, but here, let me see. Ha! Right in the shoulder. Ha! Right in the head. Oh, boom, headshot. So yeah, every day I'd walk down this beach. They used to call it a morning constitutional back in the early days in Victorian and Edwardian England. You know, just kind of walking along. And every day, every day I'd pass along, and I would hit that frigging wall, right? So it was like curved out at the beach, and there was only like, you know, 3 or 4 feet between that and the water, and I didn't want to get wet, you know, every day. What was I gonna fire this out of the bow? And so I had to avoid it by walking around it. And every single day, no joke, I would hit my damn foot on this thing. Okay? I would trip over it. Ow! And damn it, stand still. You're being a very difficult target. Oh, there's the drama queen of the day. We won. Whee! Anyway. And I would hit that thing. I would hit that thing with my left foot. Like, I'd be passing around and always just like, thunk, and oh my God, that hurt. And it just kept happening. We were there a couple weeks. And I kept kicking this thing, and every single time I'd get a little bit more upset, right? So finally one day I had enough. I was like, I am not going to kick this thing today. I'm not going to, and you know, with the brain damage thing, I kind of miss things that have a little bit bad coordination. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to kick it today. I'm not going to kick it. And as I was walking by, I got a little distracted. I think it was by a boat or something going by. It's like one of those twin engine, like, kind of boats. And I kicked it. So I'm like, dunk, and like kicked it. And I just looked down, and I'm just like, right? So I went back up to the house, and you know, here we go. Here's the part of the story where it's like, you know, Orpheus did something stupid. So, you know, instead of like, you know, I don't know, getting a handsaw or something, or maybe get even a little crazy and like run a power cord down there and like with a bandsaw or something, or a jigsaw, you know, just kind of, you know, cut it off a little bit, take that thing out of there. What do? I went and got myself an axe. Oh my God. Bro, I am so sorry. That was totally accidental. How about that one? Ooh, we're doing good today. One for you. Ooh. One for you. I need an axe. Give me this axe. So I need to. There we go. Hold on. Stop it. Come here. Are we done? Is that round done? No? Okay. So anyway, I went up, and we'll have to pretend that it's like an axe, not a hatchet, right? An actual, right? Let me preface this by saying this was, basically it was driftwood. Driftwood is like, it's regular wood, but it came out of the water, or it's been sprayed by water, and like over the years, it's just gotten to the point where it's like dry, but it's really spongy, right? Okay. So I walk up to this wall, and I'm like, you know, it's you versus me, wall. Come on, dude. I'm gonna mess you up. And I'm like walking towards it, and I'm holding on to this axe, all like, you know, defiant. You know, we'll have to pretend again. So I'm like, you know, I'm walking up to this thing, and I go up to the wall. And actually, this will be a good thing right here. So it was like, you know, it's landed off like this, and here's a piece, and I'm like, I'm starting to just chop at it, right? And I'm chopping at it, and I'm chopping at it, and then I got distracted while I was mid-swing. Don't ask, I don't know how it happened, and I missed, and I hit myself right in the ankle, and it was a full swing, okay? Like, it was a full, like, you know, like, overhead kind of swing. Oh, breakdancing. Yeah. Let's get some funk playing. Hey, future Orpheus, play some sort of funk so we can see her spinning around. Hold on, let me help you. Oh yeah, that's good. Anyway, back to the story. So I hit myself full on. The game heard me. It was like, oh, you want some axes, bro? Here you go. Hey, you like axes? I got some axes for your axes story. And so, just shunk right into my ankle. And I look down, and it's like half embedded in the wood, and it's like this part of the axe is like in my ankle. And I'm just like, right? You imagine, like, you know, you hit yourself in the friggin' ankle with an axe. It's gonna be a little bit of pain going on, right? So, you know, just start spurting blood out of it, right? And I just, holy shit. So I start running up towards the house, and I have to get this thing. So it's like, I pulled the axe out, and just blood going. And I make my way up to a guest cabin that I was staying in, and this is one of those situations. If you watched my Scuffed My Puma episode, Scuffed My Pumas, I took a bullet fragment in the leg in that video, and when I tell the story, and like, the situation is, my folks would be so pissed if they had to take me to the hospital for something. I mean, especially like, well, how did you get this wound? Well, I had this axe, you know. And so this is one of those situations where, like, I was like, I have to do some self-surgery here. I can't do anything else. So it's bleeding pretty good, and I walk into the guest cabin, and it's like a horror movie when, like, you see the trail of blood that leads throughout the house, and you expect to find a dead body at the end of it. You're like, it's Bob, right? And so I'm like, what do I do? I can't, like, there's no towels or anything. I'm just like bleeding. And I'm like, shit, and I run into the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? And, like, the only place I can put my foot to stop it is in the toilet. So I just like the toilet, and I just, like, stick my foot into it, and I'm like, because it was like, you know, look, before you're like, ew, it was clean, you know, like that day, because we had a maid that had cleaned it up before we had gotten there. I think before I had gotten into that guest cabin. Oh, you are a mean lady. Take that. That's punishment. So I stick my foot right in the toilet. And immediately, like, the toilet looks like, you know, the curses of Egypt. The rivers were running red with blood. And, oh, dude, you guys are doing more damage to each other today than I am. Yeah, I should just step back and let you do the work. Oh, no. And so, it's just openly bleeding into the toilet, and, like, I have to find things to, like, fix this. First, at least, to stop the bleeding and everything, like, within arm's reach, right? So, because I can't, like, get my foot out of the toilet, or else I'll just start going everywhere. So I'm trying to reach the medicine cabinet, like, with my foot, and I'm like trying to reach and, like, get the medicine cabinet open, and, like, there's a thing of gauze, and I grab the gauze, and I'm like, okay, here we go. You ever like, you have to swap glasses underneath, like when you're making coffee and there's too much in the thing and you have to swap the mug out real quick? That's kind of how, like, imagine that. But it's me taking my foot out of the toilet and putting it onto it, like putting the whole roll of gauze, like just putting it onto it. And like, so I finally get it to like just sort of calm down enough that I'm, you know, like when you get hurt and you like you stop all the immediate like danger, and you're like, you finally look at it, but you don't want to. you're like, I know I effed myself up pretty bad on this one, right? So you're like, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. So I'm like, okay, here we go. Whew. And I look down, and there's just like this gash, like this wide across, right across my ankle. And I don't know how it happened, but like it didn't go any deeper than like, you know, I can't do this like really well. It didn't go any deeper than like that far in. So it didn't like cut any major blood vessels. It didn't it did whoop. Oh, wow. Okay. Body slam by God there. So it didn't cut any major blood vessels. It did nick the front of one of my metacarpals. Yeah, the metacarpal, all those little tiny bones in the ankle. And you're like, well, Orpheus, how do you know that it nicked it? Well, I could see one of them. Okay? I could see one of them sticking out, and yes, there was very visibly a fresh little slice of bone out of it. Not like ridiculous. How do I keep bumping into you and you die? I must be very strong today, you know. Hello, welcome to California. Now get out. So, there's a little chunk of bone missing, and I'm like, oh god, I messed myself up bad, right? I'm like, this is the summer, like we're all wearing like swimsuits and t-shirts and like flip-flops, and I'm like, how the hell am I gonna hide this, right? Here's the bad part of the story. As if like hitting myself in the ankle with an axe wasn't bad enough. This isn't like as horrible, but here's how I covered it up. By the way, I got it sealed up with some, like an entire box of those butterfly sutures, you know, because they were the only thing. Oh, there you go. They were the only things that were available that I could like get to, because I couldn't get to the store or anything. My family would be like, "Where are you going?" Like, nowhere. So I get a bunch of butterfly sutures. Get that thing sealed up, and then I wrap it with an ace bandage around it so that all stays. And oh boy. So I'm thinking, how do I cover this up? Because I can probably get away from it with it, you know, being bandaged up for like a half a day or something, right? You know, I figure my parents and folks, they might be like, you know what, but they're not really gonna notice, right? There's a lot going on. We're doing all this stuff. Okay. So I'm like, I need to somehow cover this up. So we were going out on our boat, and my whole family was coming onto the boat, and I'm like, in order to cover this up, I'm gonna have to do. Would you shoot, bro? Would you shoot? You want to shoot? He's like, don't shoot me, no. So we go to get on the boat, and again, I'm like, I'm not looking forward to this, because I'm gonna have to do something that would make it look like I got a bad enough wound that it like fits what I've got going on. So we go to like untie the boat from the cleat, right? And so I'm going, and I'm like, I'm gonna push the boat out, and I put my foot out, and I push it, and then I like, oops, I slipped. And I made a big deal out of it. I like made it like, oh my god, I hit the cleat. It's this thing that you tie rope around to like secure rope to the dock, so you can secure the boat. Like, you've seen them. They look like a T sticking out of the ground with a little thing right here. Anyway, so I made it look like, oh no, I slipped. And I hit my foot on that cleat. And then I just kind of went, oh. And then I was like, hold on, I'll be right back, guys. And I ran up to the house. And I'm like standing there in the living room, just like, I hope they buy this. This is gonna be terrible, right? So I go back down and like I took care of everything, and they're like, "Oh, is it bad?" I'm like, I don't know. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I think I'm like I saw a pretty big gash, so I got away with it. And oh my God, the rest of the summer, it was a nightmare. Because every time I wanted to go like swimming and boating and like walking down the beach and stuff, and like, folks, if you never had sand get into an open axe wound, which I don't know. Oh, I don't know how many of you are like have that experience, but you know, whatever. It is really bad to clean out of there. Are you gonna stay right there? Can I kick you into this? No. Whee! And yeah, so it's bad to try to clean that out every day. Again, it took until like, so I hurt myself in like July, like mid-July, and it took until like October before I could stop bandaging it up. And again, I had a little limp going on. I never had it looked at. Like again, you get to the point where you're like, at first you're like, I can't go to the doctor because like, what'd you do? I hit myself with an axe. Oh, you're a dummy, right? But it gets to the point after that like you don't want to tell any doctor going forward because then you got to explain this stupid story about how you did this. And it's never good to have your medical what are you swinging at? It's never good to have your medical professional think that you're an idiot, you know. So that's that one. That's the I almost chopped my foot off with an axe. Let's flash forward. We're gonna go diddle-doo, 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 right from Wayne's World. Okay. Where my wife and I are living up on the Navajo reservation, and there were no hospitals. Like the closest hospital was like seriously a 2-hour drive down a road that was a dirt road that felt like a bombed out runway. Right? It felt a lot more like, you know, that they never fixed the damn thing. And so there were just potholes, but not potholes. There were like grooves out of the road. So you had to drive your car and like the whole time, right? Well, this is useful. Okay. Well, we're going to do fireballs. How about some fire, Scarecrow? You'll love this. Dun, dun, dun. Balls. Gonna do some crotch trauma here right now. So yeah, no hospitals for 2 hours. You had to drive on this. It was hell, right? Trying to do this. Oh, and you're all dead. Thank you. Goodbye. I can also like spit fire with this one, but it's more like I just kind of leak fire, like it's a bottle of butane. So, oh, how about some for your balls, Scarecrow? There, can we? Haha. Anyway, so on to the story. My wife was at work, and I was what was it? It was a TomTom. We had bought a TomTom GPS navigator for, you know, because we were out in the middle of nowhere. So if you get lost, it's like you're like, well, I guess I'm gonna die from dehydration now. You know, like if you get lost somewhere where it's like cold, you can always burn something to like stay warm, right? But when you get lost somewhere where it's, you know, a desert, you have a real chance of, you know, becoming one of those skeletons in an old Western movie. You know, like the wind just blowing by, and it's just you, the skeleton. Anyway, this is so unfair. I'm getting rid of this. This makes it no fun. So, my wife is at work, and they're like, yeah, have a couple more. You know you want to. No, you're not getting me with that. Ha ha, nice try. So, got this TomTom, and it was in one of those, you know, plastic clamshell cases. You know those things. It's like they're welded shut around the edges of it, and they're always like, here's an easy open pull tab, and you pull it and it immediately rips, so you have to go get some sort of implement of destruction and like saw the damn thing open to get it going, and then you're like, oh, I got a little rip in it, so that'll mean that I can get it open now. But like it's that indestructible plastic. Whoa, bro. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and your old buddy Orpheus here decided, well, I can accomplish two things at the same time. What? Did you throw that one from downtown? No? Yes, you did. Ha! Ha! Ooh, disemboweled. And so I decided, what better way to spend my time and get a little bit of dual action and multitask than go into the bathroom, and while I'm going to the bathroom, sitting down, figured I'd open up this clamshell. And I had this knife that I had bought. And it was like a spike knife, right? So it's just one piece of metal. It's about like that long, and it was a triangle blade. So like the blade wasn't like this. It had it looked like a triangle when you look at it straight on. So this thing was just nasty sharp, and it had a little tiny curve in it at the end. And so this'll be good, right? You have things like letter openers in your house for things like this. Well, this was a fancier letter opener kind of thing. No casting. Stop it. No. Can't even get a headshot today. Let's try it with a little fire. Maybe that'll help. And so I'm sitting there on the toilet. And I'm like leaned down in front, like on the floor here, and I'm like trying to open this thing up, and it's not opening, right? So I'm scoring the plastic, and I'm scoring the plastic, because this isn't like a regular blade. I can't just stick the blade in and cut it, because it's a triangle. I gotta kind of right. Trigger warning. This is the gross part. So it slips, and the knife goes right into the side of my toe, a little bit on the inside, not like on the side, but about a 1/4 inch in on my toe. So about here, right? And it the tip of that thing, because it was curved this way, and the tip of it went into my foot, into my toe. Well, not the toe. It was like the meat right below your big toe. And it went right into that. And it was it skipped, and I heard it hit the floor. Right? I heard the tip hit the floor. And immediately, it's like that. I've made this reference before. It's like in the cowboy movies where the guy gets shot with the arrow, right? And then he keeps fighting for about 5 minutes, and then someone everything's done, and finally someone says, "Hey Bob, you got a little thing wrong there." And the cowboy looks down, right? Cowboy looks down, and he's like, "Oh, oh no!" And then he drops dead, right? This is kind of what that was like. Here, get out of my way, because I looked at it, and I see it, and it's just sticking in there. And I'm like, huh. Because it's it takes... Ooh. It takes just that second for your body to realize what's going on. Hey, guys, it's like when you get kicked in the balls, right? And it takes just that little second for your brain to go, did that just happen? Right? Hot. What'd you do to my sword? Oh, you bastard. Hot. Anyway, so it takes that second for your brain to kind of register what happened, and then you're like, oh, right? Well, that's what it was for this. I'm just immediately, it's just stuck in there, and I'm just like, oh God, this is really gonna hurt. So I'm like, oh Jesus, I know what I gotta do. I pull this thing out, and it left a hole in that meat that was that big, like an inch wide. And because it was that triangle blade, it was like a 1/2 inch wide too. It was like an inch long and a 1/2 inch wide. And if I thought I was gushing blood from the axe wound, this was, oh my God. It started spraying on the wall. It was like immediately was spraying over into the bathtub, and like I'm just like, oh my god, and I'm like I put my hands over it, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell? I'm like, I got my thumb in the wound and stuff, and at this point the pain hasn't hit me yet, right? Because it's still that panic of, oh my god, I'm losing like an appreciable amount of blood here. And so like I'm like, what do I do? Oh Jesus. And I grabbed the roll of toilet paper and I just put it on there, and within like 3 seconds, no joke, 3 seconds, that entire roll of toilet paper had turned red. And it was like, it wasn't just soaking it up, it was like already leaking off of the thing. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't know what to do, right? Because I mean, I've had some training, like medical wise, kind of, right? Over the years, I've done like community emergency training and stuff, and I've got a lot of medical stuff in the house. I actually, another story coming at some point. I used to be pre-med at one point. I was about to go to medical school. Anyway. So I'm like, I have all this first aid knowledge, but like they don't cover like what to do if you're literally spurting blood across the room. Except for like put pressure on it. Like it's a hole. I can't put pressure on a hole, right? And so immediately I'm like, okay. And I get just duct tape and some gauze and a towel, and like I put the gauze on first, and I put the towel on, and I wrap it with duct tape as hard as I can, like without cutting off all the circulation. And suddenly I'm like, do I need a tourniquet? Am I gonna have to like put a tourniquet on my ankle? Right? So I'm like, okay, I gotta elevate it. So I go over to my desk. Hold on, we need a little bit of gravity on this thing. This situation's pretty heavy, man. And so I go over to my computer desk, and I sit down, and I put my foot up like on the desk. So I'm like, this is my foot, and I've got it like up on the desk, and I'm like this. I'm sitting on the ground at this point. My wife's still at work, right? And it's still bleeding. Like it's still bleeding pretty decent. It at least calmed down a little bit, but like I quite literally felt weak from the loss of blood. And the entire bathroom, I mean, it looked like in CSI when they go in somewhere and they see all the blood, and they're like, well, there's one thing for sure. Whoever lost all this blood isn't alive anymore, you know, that kind of thing. So I call my wife. I get her on the phone, and I'm like, hey, honey, how are you? And I like, in that tone of voice, except it was a little bit more like, hey, honey, how are you? It's like a little weak. And she's like, fine, is everything okay? Because, like, I'd never, ever called her at work before up here at the Navajo Res job. And I'm like, yep, everything's fine, except I think I might have basically cut my toe off. And she's like, what? Yeah, I was cutting open a package, and this knife, anyway, I'm like, I'm not very good off. I lost a lot of blood. And she goes, oh my god, I'm gonna come home right now. Yeah, there you go. How you like that? Want some apples? You like apples? How about, okay, I was gonna make a how about them apples joke, but you got there first. Ha! And so she comes home. And I'm sitting there, and I've got my foot up on the desk, and it's starting to drip onto the desk. And she's just like, what the hell happened? And I kind of explain it, and I'm like, can you help me with some... Wow, accidental. Anyway, so I'm like, can you help me with this real quick? And so she unwraps it, and I'm just like, is it bad? And she looks at it, and she's like, yes. Yes, it's bad. So like, oh no. So like, again, no hospital. I can't just, put this thing into a shopping bag or something and drive 2 hours to the hospital. There's no 911 to call, right? I can't, because they'll be like, what do you want us to do? We're 200 miles away, bro. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, shit, I got to take care of this. So I start getting, again, those Band-Aid sutures are amazing, except when you have an open wound, it just kind of like I had to get some their forceps and their little locking tweezer plier kind of things. And I had to like grab the edges and pull them together and then while I'm holding it, I had to like put those Band-Aid sutures on. Well, okay, those are nice, except if you ever have done anything with wound care, you can't just like close over the top of a wound, because that doesn't work. It'll just be this horrible open thing underneath it, right? There's a little weakness. So I had to start packing it with gauze. And oh my god, if you've ever done that, or if you ever had to pack something with gauze and you have to pull it out later, no. That's frigging awful. I've only had to feel that pain a few other times. I will do another story about the kidney stones that I've had too. Oh, holy God. Oh, man. I hope none of you ever have to have a kidney stone, because it's less painful than it's more painful than what this guy just went through right here. Anyway, it healed up. It's still, I lost some feeling. I clipped a nerve on that, so I don't feel part of my foot anymore. And again, it's one of those things you can't tell the doctor. Like, I told him that I have a neurological issue, like a little nerve issue down there, you know, and they're like, oh, okay. And I never told the doctors about that, because again, folks, you do not want your medical professional thinking that you're an idiot, because they'll treat you like one after just a few times of you telling them dumb things about your life. Anyway, so that's the brief collection of stories about some foot trauma that I went through. Hope you sickos like that. Anyway, we'll see you next time here on Orpheus Plays. I'm glad you've been here. And have a good day. Bye!